Ashley, you ready?
Yep, I'm good.
All right. Well, then let's start. Here we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the February 24th, 2025 Board Operations Committee meeting. This is our last Board Operations Committee meeting of the year. Kind of amazing we've come this fast, this far. A few things about our committee. Tonight, the voting members of our committee, 3 standing members, myself, Colin, and Sean, and then our other 2 members tonight are going to be Ashley and Paul. We will be the ones voting on all the motions tonight. We also have here today, welcome Sky and Karen, fellow board members. Of course, Susan, John, and Jeremy. Really always our rock. We'll be going through each of the board agendas for the remainder of the year, 1 in March and 2 in April. And that should be the bulk of our business for tonight. All right? First thing I need to do is roll call. Ready? Sean? Here. Colin? Here. Paul? Here. Ashley?
Here.
And I. That's our roll call. Super. Let's see, next on the agenda. We are recorded. We are not live streaming tonight, but this will be available on YouTube soon after for the public to be able to review at their leisure. This is a hybrid meeting. We have people both in the room here tonight and members who are streaming online. If you have any comments on the Board Operations Committee meeting, I do have a contact here. Use our contact on our website. And on item 4, approval of the minutes. This is by consent. Does any of the voting members object to the minutes? November 25th. Hearing no objection. First, we have an administrative item. Sean, if you can help us through the FY 2026 board orientation.
Yeah, so this is the annual board orientation. Sorry. The board does every year as part of the new board and that's the election process. So as you can see on the orientation, May 1st would be board orientation. It would be here in this room or hybrid. The basic welcome CA presentation by the chair, CA 101, what to expect during the organizational meeting and distribution of policies. Then on May 8th is the organizational meeting. That's the members of CA meeting, the board of directors meeting, the Columbia Council meeting. And then the weekend of the 16th, which is May 16th, Friday, and the 17th, Saturday, is board orientation and training. The 16th, we're planning on a dinner. We have not determined the location yet of that. With the board and the SLT. The 17th is training similar to, I guess, previous years, but last year for sure. It's board excellence training, legal training in a closed session with our council. And then also just a discussion around board goal setting in the afternoon. And then for that, May 22nd is the first official meeting of the fiscal year for the board. And then it goes on to June 5th and June 26th.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Shane regarding the orientation?
I actually have a... Oh, go ahead.
No, Ashley, go ahead.
All right, Ashley, you'll go first, and then Paul.
Got it.
Thank you all for piping.
So this is actually more for John, and I probably need to like put it in the smart sheet tracker, but since it's a good reminder that this is coming up, Joel calls in to comment every single time, and I've obviously not delved deep into the specifics of what it is that he's asking, but it would be great to either have clarification that the process we are doing is correct or to correct it, because there's something about the order of things that he is very adamant and passionate about in terms of the election part when we appoint you know, ourselves to different roles.
I'm aware of his point of view, which he's made clear many times. Yeah, well, it's not traditionally been done that way, the way that he advocates, and for logistical reasons, done in the order that's been done the past several times, and so I understand his concern, but, I mean, it's been done that way for the past several times, and I really, at this point, don't see any reason to change it.
Yeah, I'm not
Hey,
even
John.
suggesting we change it. It would just be nice to be able to say, like, we're still doing it a correct way by our bylaws, you know? That's really what I'm looking for. But I'll follow up with it on a smart sheet. It was just, you know, looking at the upcoming agenda reminded me that it's something that I have heard about many times.
I'm sure you have.
Thanks. Colin?
Sean, is the May 22nd meeting, is that the FY '26 board is electing leadership that night?
No, that's
No.
on the 8th.
On the 8th, okay. Okay. I don't know if there's some way of doing this, perhaps at board orientation, beforehand. I don't know if you all have considered it, but, thinking through and advocating, committee assignments, maybe not happening on that first meeting of the FY '26 board meeting, but rather taking like straw polls or interest, particularly as it relates to people and where they belong, and also like schedules, and kind of have that more logistically figured out later. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's going to be a recommendation of me, but it's really, the board chair would make that decision, at the time, once the board elects a chair and vice chair, so the board makes the decision. Yes, I highly recommend the board just asking for letters of interest, emails of interest, and then at that meeting, and then coming back and doing the appointment at a later date, but that is a board chair decision.
And my question, so for the May 1st and 8th meetings, it says FY '25 board and FY '26 board. Is this more like an offboarding for the FY '25 board with the FY '26 board there? Just trying to understand it a little bit better.
According to what I'm told, so I'm doing this, but, the May 1st meeting, all the village board elections may not be complete by then,
Right.
and then possibly not by the 8th, so, but they should be, but that's what I
I
see.
see. So it's whoever is still, so the whole board isn't expected. The FY '25 board, or unless.
No,
Yeah, okay, so the election's still ongoing. Okay, thank you.
All right. Very good. All right, I'm gonna back up just a little bit. I was wondering if we could approve the agenda for tonight. Okay. Can I get a motion to do that?
Sure, so move.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the agenda for this evening? All right, let's call the vote. Sean?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yep.
Paul?
Yes.
Holly?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll vote. We're off to a running start. Also, if you wanted to, put maybe the policy of selecting members. Move it the second meeting in April.
Okay.
It'll be fresh and ready for the next board. Good.
Okay.
Suggestion, not a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Administrative items. We now move on to the March 27th, 2025 agenda. 27th.
I move to approve the March 27th agenda as presented.
Alan, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Paul, second. You good. Sean, if you can just give us a top down, just a quick, what we're looking at on this agenda?
sure. One thing, you'll notice under item number 4, Columbia update, I've asked the staff to come in and give the board a brief presentation on what CA has done around the village elections to help support the elections. Danica Rhines will be in to kind of present that information. I know there's some, I think it'd be helpful for the board and the villages to know what CA is doing to help promote the elections for all the villages and the board. So that'll be interesting to see. Under the consent agenda, you'll see approval of minutes of the 13th and the 27th. Under old business, there's a potential, the board at their next meeting will see the management of community buildings analysis. So moving forward, the board can make a decision on that if they would like, so it's on there. Also under old business board goals update, Jeremy will be in here with some of the staff to give an update on the GIS, community engagement, along with some other staff, and also our website update. Under new business, Susan will be in to talk about proposed funding for emergency cash reserves, and also present the Q3 FY 2026 financials. And then after that, just questions only, the usual. So that's the usual.
Very good. Okay, just for our voting members, a quick heads up. For this meeting, we anticipate an ending time of 10 o'clock. So if you're looking to add time to this, add a topic to this meeting, you're certainly going to go to the evening for the 27th. Just as a pro forma, what I typically like to hear when we do motions to add to the agendas, what topic you would like to do, whether that is under new or old business. Clearly, new topics go under new business. If we tested already this year, we could revisit under old business. And then your estimated time for discussion. Fully consider any additions. If we're clear on that, do we have any further discussion on the March 27th agenda?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I just realized that there's a typo in here. It really should be the Q3 2025 financials, right, Susan? Sorry about that, everyone.
Okay. If we could make that change before we have the meeting, that'd be great.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
I have a question, probably more for Jeremy. Is there an expected date or even plan to provide an update after the Longfellow stream meeting, since obviously that is a hot topic?
A lot of that will be dependent upon the regulatory sort of agencies and their final plan that they're gonna work on. So I would expect sometime in April there could be the possibility of an update, and I know there's a need to both engage the CA board as well as the Harper's Choice and Town Center Village boards before any work takes place, which is going to be in the summer. So you bring up a good point, Ashley, about trying to have a placeholder sometime in April for that, or, you know, depending on the sequence and the schedule of work, it may have to shift to May. To be determined.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right. With that, I suppose we'll call the questions. Approval of the March 27th, 2025 agenda. Ashley, how do you vote?
Approve.
Paul? Alan?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Yes. We are 1/3 through our meeting already, everybody. Okay. I can now turn to the draft agenda for April 10th, 2025.
So this is
Hold on.
Oh, sorry about that.
The column boost magic here.
I move to approve the April 10th agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, Ashley, thank you for chiming in. Very good. Second by Ashley. All right, Sean, thank you.
Sorry about that. I'll start with number 6, because the rest is the usual formality. Approval of minutes from March 27th, under number 7, old business. Vote the proposed funding of emergency cash reserves that will be presented at the previous meeting. Also, the CA headquarters building purchase option update to present to the board, for the first viewing. Also, C, under board goals update, we'll be presenting, 2 more goals, the natural resources plan update, as well as, the goal number 8, which was CA key benchmarks, to present to the board.
I have a question. What's a benchmark? Is it the same as a milestone?
It's more like metrics that we use to gauge the health and success. So,
It's non-intermediary deadline.
Thank you, Sky.
under new business, we'll have an, update on some proposed open space signage that we're proposing for the pathways. And then also CA's non-native invasive species management, program, a little update on that from the operations team. And then after that is, questions only. Items after that.
Okay. Thank you. Colin?
I would like to, make an amendment for an idea that was totally novel, just came to me a few months ago. But I would like to add 15 minutes in new business to discuss the, board committee. Off the cuff.
It's, moved by Colin. Is there a second for this?
I'll second.
Thank you.
So if we could, I'm wondering, if we could just have staff present what it is right now, and then we can have an open conversation real quick. That might be helpful, because then if we do need to bring it back as old business and or make amendments, we can do that in the 24th. Does that sound?
Ashley, anything from you on this?
I couldn't totally hear that last part that Colin said. To have the staff present what?
Just kind of like the lay of the land, what, the policy currently is and what we ought to know, especially with a new board coming in.
Oh, yeah. That sounds good to me.
Any other discussion? All right. All right, to amend the April 10th, 2025 agenda, add 15 minutes to new business to discuss the board committee assignments at the beginning of the year. Correct? So with Paul?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yep.
Colin?
Yeah.
I'll vote yes. So the agenda has been amended. Any other discussion on the April 10th agenda?
So we're at 10 o'clock. Correct.
Thank you for bringing that up. At 10 o'clock. So then we'll call the question for the agenda in full. This is for April 10th, 2025, as amended, to include 15 minutes of new business for board committee assignments.
I'm sorry, did you say board committee assignments?
Yes.
When would be a good time to talk about increasing the IAT terms to 2 years? Just for continuity, would this be a good time, or?
A fair question.
Or in May sometime when we,
I do wonder if we talk about that during the amended 15 minutes, because like I'm thinking about the audit committee and talking about, the importance of having continuity in that group as well. But that's not, I don't know if that's a policy or if that's just a recommendation.
What I would say is that this amendment that we had was about assignments, was choosing who would be on what. I don't think we talked about terms or length
Yeah.
of terms or anything like that.
That's fair.
I guess I perceive, just so I'm clear, because I'll probably be the one talking about it. You're talking about the procedure at the organizational meeting that states once the chair and vice chair are elected, then the committees are chosen by the chair at that meeting. Because that's the, in a short sentence, that's the procedure right now. And what I perceive, and correct me if I'm wrong because it's your motion, is you're interested in deferring the choice and perhaps giving a period of time where nominations are made or some other procedure is used, and in a subsequent meeting, perhaps the next one, then the choices are made to give the board time and the chair time to consider interest and gauge who the chair wants to be on the committee.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
That would not be terms, that would just be conditions of how people are selected. Sorry. So what we voted on to amend the agenda with was to discuss how people are selected for the different committees, not the terms of the committees
Okay.
or the construct of the committee.
So when would we discuss, or when could I bring up increasing at least one position to 2 years on the IAT? I don't know when that would fit in.
Well, we have not voted on, we were very close. We have not voted on the April 10th agenda. Where we are, Sky, is as a non-voting member, we would have to appeal to one of our voting committee members to make the motion and get a second, so we could put that into discussion for the agenda.
I thought Sky could make motions. I thought she could make motions and second, even though she's not a voting member.
But those would be votes, right?
In my
But we
knowledge,
can't, like, I can't vote, she can't vote, but I thought we were still allowed to make motions and second motions.
All right, well, then we'll, if you would like to make that motion, we'll still have to have a second from a voting member.
Okay.
Yeah,
I move to,
Go ahead,
you
Sky.
want to do it?
I was gonna second you, just so we can have the conversation.
Guy, what was your motion?
Make my motion. I move to add 5 minutes for a discussion about increasing at least one of the positions on the IAT board to 2 years for continuity.
Yep, I'll second. And then, so for discussion purposes, I mean, I'm happy to just volunteer, right? Like I'm in the midst of my 2-year term, so I'm totally okay doing that just in practice. I think having it as any kind of requirement is going to be a very difficult thing to enact because of the, you know, how a lot of folks have 1-year terms. There's not a guarantee, right, that somebody is going to be returning to it. I think that would just, like, I think it's important to have best practices for a lot of these committees, right? Same with the audit committee, but having any kind of enforcement is going to be a different aspect.
I agree, and like the audit committee, it's recommended that at least one person have it, be on it the second year, so.
Yeah.
Would be a returning member. All right, Colin?
Would you, Sky and Ashley, because the way that the amendment was proposed is localized to the IAT, and I'm wondering if we can just broaden the 5-minute time to talk about all committee assignments and their continuity plan.
Sure.
Sorry.
Love it.
Good point.
Ashley, are you on board with that?
So I would say continuity and, I guess continuity is fine.
Just the whole, yeah, continuity and then the selection of.
Yeah,
So there's
So,
the 3 committees you're talking about.
yeah.
Love it.
Clarify, what was that motion?
Okay.
What they,
I'm feverishly revising this.
What a
Let-
great question.
Let me make sure I got this right. So this would be a motion to add 5-minute discussion to new business on the April 10th, 2025 agenda regarding the continuity of committees. Is that it? Guy? Did I reflect the motion correctly? This is your motion.
I would say somewhere 2 years if possible. Or consecutive, did you say consecutive?
No, I said continuity of committees regarding length of service.
Sure, that's fine. Thank you.
Any other comment or discussion on this amendment? All right, well then, let's call the question on that. Colin?
Yeah.
Ashley?
I think it'll take more than 5 minutes, but yes.
Paul? Sean? Oh, no. Hold on. All right, so we have an amended, that motion passes 4-1-0. We have an amended, agenda for April 4th, 2025. The agenda is amended in 2 ways. The first amendment was to add 15 minutes to new business, discuss board committee assignments at the first meeting of the year. Second amendment, which also passed, was to add 5-minute discussion to discuss continuity of committees regarding the length of term. I'm going to call the main motion. Sean?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Colin?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you. I think we're a long way from finishing up this meeting. All right, we now move on to the April 24th, 2025 meeting.
I move to approve the April 24th agenda as presented.
Discussion.
Okay, so the April 24th, will be the usual up through item number 6. The consent agenda will be the approval of draft minutes from the April 10th meeting. Under old business, item A is the vote, the opportunity for the board to vote on the CEA headquarters building purchase. Item number B is the board policy review. And item C would be review of the board's FY25 annual goals. So by the April 10th meeting, the board will have seen all of the goals that were approved back in September. Just be an overview of those goals and the status of those goals. That's an overview. Under new business, there'll be a summer programming update. The internal staff, there's a team that's been working on some Lakefront Live programming diversification as well as some programming outside of the Lakefront. So they'll be in to give the board a presentation on that. And then the rest after item 9, questions only, is the usual. I do have an amendment to what's been printed, so.
Okay.
To make a motion to add that we have Howard County representatives come in to talk about the Patuxent Branch Trail. Jeremy has been in contact with them about coming in, and they are available on the 24th. 10 minutes? Jeremy, do you know?
Yeah, 15 would be fine, I think.
Yeah, 15 will be.
Under new business.
When you say board policy review, is that like an update about us reviewing all of the board like the older policies, or something different?
There's our, I'm sorry.
How about it?
No.
Go ahead, you can.
I'm like, oh, I think I had more coffee than I had. There's as you know, there's a board workshop meeting on March 13th to discuss policies. This would be a follow-up to that.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
So, on the table is an amendment to the April 24th, 2025 meeting agenda. Howard County representatives to discuss the production branch trail, 15 minutes under new business. Any other discussion? Ashley,
Approved.
Paul,
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Dawn? Yes. Yes? 0. Colin?
I would like to amend the agenda to add item D under old business for 10 minutes for the board committee assignment.
All right, so everybody gets it?
Wait, to talk about the board committee assignments?
This would more than likely be a vote if we were to change it.
Oh, any policy. Okay.
So just to be clear, the amendment is to put 10 minutes on old business to discuss the board committee assignment policy that potentially could be a voting agenda item.
Should we?
Colin has proposed it. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Paul. Question, Paul?
I was gonna say, should it be a separate motion for the continuity, issue, the other items that we talked about?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll just.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Any other further discussion on this amendment? Dawn?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Colin?
Yes.
Yes. 500 for this amendment. We will add 10 minutes old business for the April 24th, 2025 board committee assignment policy. Right. And just so that you're all together here, we anticipate that this board meeting on the 24th to end at 9:45 initially. We have now added 25 minutes to the meeting. That brings us up to 10:10 as an estimated closing time. So everybody understands where we are. Have any other business regarding the April 24th meeting?
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to add 5 minutes to discuss, under.
Let's do 10 minutes.
10 minutes, 10 minutes, yeah, 5 minutes is not gonna be, so 10 minutes to discuss, the continuity and
Continuity. Has committee come out with respect to terms?
terms of previous meeting, yeah, just under.
Make sure I track that correctly. Regarding length of terms.
Like,
Discussion.
That'd be a vote item.
That possibly could be a vote item also, yes. Okay, no discussion? See, Ashley, how do you vote?
Yes.
Paul?
yes.
Alan?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Vote yes. Motion carries 500.
Did you have a
Amendment.
second on the motion? I couldn't hear.
Yes, Ashley, Colin seconded that motion.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay. That's where we are. Anything else for the April 24th? Okay, made motion. Dawn?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Colin?
Yes.
Vote yes. 500. Let me check my first page here. We do not not have any further business on the agenda. So, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Oh.
Is there any objection to the motion on the table? Hearing no objection, 7:38, we are adjourned. Thank you all. Thanks to everybody for a successful board operation series this year.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.